what most excited you out of this earnings report?
Most excited me. Oh man. I mean, what really drew my attention was their specifics on the numbers. Because obviously the numbers weren't anything that blew me away. Their guidance wasn't anything that blew me away, as far as the actual numbers went. But the fact that they gave us specific numbers, I think that's really what got me. Was that, and that chart with the energy, seeing the S curve starting was the big one for
Mm-hmm.
me too. I love
Yeah,
that chart.
I would agree with the energy and the insurance. For me, were like two little golden nuggets in there. Energy, obviously, people know, I'm sure, more about, and it's growing faster than the auto business. If there ever was a severe slowdown in the auto market, they have the energy. I think that they could kind of just flip that switch on and really run. It could obviously potentially be even bigger than the auto market. They could now, once we get to a surplus of batteries, once we get the 4680s and everything ramped up and going, there's a lot of exciting stuff over there. But the insurance, Tesla insurance, was really interesting to me. So they don't even report it out as its own thing because it's not significant enough yet. But they
Yeah.
mentioned they have a $300 million annual premium run rate right now, and the insurance is growing 20% a quarter, not a year, a quarter. So that's growing
Fast
even faster than the
than
auto
vehicles.
and the energy,
Yeah.
and that's only in, I believe, 10 states, 10 or 12, right? So that was
Right.
really interesting to me.
Yeah. And so obviously, when they get into more states, but I loved Zach's transparency on it, just saying, hey, the money that we're bringing in is not going to make a significant difference. But you have to remember what he said was the reason they're doing this is to make a better customer experience
Mm-hmm.
and better cost effectiveness for the customer over the long term of the vehicle, because now they can do it. And then, of course, as Elon said too, now they're in this loop that they have very fast, immediate feedback on what's going on. It's actually helping them change the design of the vehicles to A, become safer, and B, become easier and quicker to repair so they get it back to customers sooner. So it's like, so now they're
Right.
using this information. What other company can do that? Like if you have third party information from, from these insurance companies, you're not going to get that information, and at least not in a timely manner. So, you're going to be sitting here waiting to get this info. Maybe it's going to be accurate, maybe not. Who knows how they're collecting that data? Whereas Tesla's like, we got it. Hey, you know what? Like Elon said, it's like, that bumper could probably use some help. All right, we'll fix the bumper. We're going to make it easier to fix. Good, done. Like absolutely incredible how they operate. And a lot of these things people don't understand. Coming from manufacturing, I've been in retail, and just so many people don't take into account how much money you can save on the bottom line by being more efficient, because it's not a number you can really see. Like you're like, all right, if I get rid of an employee, I can count that number. But when you're fixing a vehicle and creating efficiency, time equals money, and putting a number and a dollar amount on that time is very difficult.
Yeah, I wrote a little bit about it in my last Substack article, and like you had mentioned with the bumpers, they're just demonstrating the continuous improvement, the constant innovation that the insurance was started to make the cars more affordable, and they're going to make it into something that ends up adding more profit margins to their business. And I couldn't help just, draw these parallels between Amazon. It's like, what made Amazon so successful? They made everything absolutely prioritized utmost convenience for the customer, making the customer happy, making their life easier. And I think this is like a perfect example of that same kind of business model where Tesla Insurance is saving you money, a lot of money if you have a high safety score, but it's also just making it more convenient.
Oh yeah.
The repair times and the cost to you is all being reduced. So obviously, like, these are just more incentives to go with Tesla and go with Tesla Insurance. And the other part that was interesting too about it was that they kind of said that the people who are opting for Tesla Insurance tend to be, getting it on the new car. Like if they already have insurance with someone else, they tend to stick with that insurance provider. So it's definitely a very sticky business. So, in the short term, it might be slow, but in the long run, I think more and more people opt in for Tesla Insurance. I mean, it is growing, as we said, pretty significantly. But once they're in there, they're going to stay there. So they all of a sudden,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
just going to have all this recurring revenue that's just going to keep growing and growing the higher volume they achieve. You know, if we do 2 million cars this year and they have, 17% of customers opt into the insurance, maybe it goes up to 20%. All of a sudden, they're just making all this money appear out of thin air.
Oh, yeah. And you think about the fact that like that's part of their ecosystem now. So I would have no doubt that you go into the future and guess what you can buy insurance on? Your power walls, your solar. And I have no doubt they're going to lump that all in there. And I
Yeah,
have no
home and
doubt that
auto.
it's,
That's a good point.
yeah, so they'll have that. And then you know what? Oh, hey, renter's insurance. They'll get into all of this stuff in the future. Now, I mean, they're already starting to do some of their own underwriting. So why would they not? And like you said, just the money that they're going to be pulling in from that, especially if they're in control of, hey, you're going to get insurance on our vehicle, but we're already creating a vehicle for you that probably isn't going to need insurance. So the money you're going to give us for insurance is really going to be pure profit in our pockets.